Hi, everyone. I'm Adrienne Everheart. Why are you attracting narcissists, low investment guys that are giving you crumbs? Why are you attracting men that are weirdos or strange guys? I'm going to talk about changing up your energy and really attracting quality, high value men. In this video, be sure to stick around to the end. I'm going to share a wonderful scripting exercise with you to help you connect and attract the type of man you want to be with. Hey, if you haven't done it already, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. It's totally free and you'll stay up to date with all my content and get more tips just like the one I'm going to give you today. I remember at one point I was in the dating world and I was like, my God, what is wrong with me? I kept attracting these men who would send me one or two texts every couple of days, but not go out on a date with me. Or there was always the guy I liked who just really wasn't investing and communicating as much with me. I just really felt like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I attracting all of these men that I don't want to be with? And yet the men I want to be with, they are just acting really strange and being distant. So at first a person is going to kind of blame themselves and go, what's wrong with me? I don't want you to feel like anything's wrong with you, but I can definitely tell you some things you can do regarding your natural feminine energy that can change what you're signaling out to the world and also make sense of what is coming towards you. Now, I teach a very popular program called Fem Tools for Dating. It stands for Feminine Energy Mindset Method. And I also have a program called New Man Manifesto. In both of those programs, I stress the importance of moving up the tiers and that every man either brings you a message or he brings you a gift of sorts. So the men that are coming towards you, I want you to step back and take a little look at what is the message these men are bringing to me? Are they mirroring something back to me that I need to see about myself? Are they giving me some sort of gift of information or knowledge that I need to process and understand? Because one day when you're moving up those tiers and you've met your happily ever after, and you're with your partner, you don't want to learn all that stuff then. You want to learn it now. You want to learn it down here. So when you get up here and you've met the man you want to spend your life with, it all makes sense. It all connects. Now, a lot of you may think, wait a minute, I'm already with my man I want to be with. This is already my dream guy. I don't need to manifest anybody new. And that's totally okay. This is about the two of you changing and growing at a similar rate. So you end up at the same place at the same time. That makes the timing right. That makes the relationship work. So in the meantime, you might be attracting men and energy and behaviors that are not in alignment with what you truly want. But I want you to pay attention to what does it mean? What is the message you're receiving? So a good way to do this is to write down the past couple of guys you've gone on a date with, or the past few significant men in your life. And I want you to ask yourself, what was the first thing about them that attracted me to them? What drew me in about them? The next thing I want you to ask is, what was the first problem I saw in the relationship? What was the first red flag that popped up? It usually shows up by the third or fifth date. The next thing I want you to ask yourself is, were they attracted to me or was I drawn to them? In a lot of cases, you might have found they were absolutely attracted to you and you weren't that into them. And then later, maybe you got interested in them, or later you developed some sort of attraction only for them at that point to lose interest. Or maybe they were just never your type at all and you were just in it. But I want you to just think about what led to the attraction. So now you have a good idea of some characteristics that you are attracting in the men that are in your life. And I want you to just lean back, look at those characteristics and ask yourself, is there anything I need to learn from some of these behaviors? Is there anything that I am attracting? In any way, does this resemble something that I didn't receive from my parents? Or is it similar to how my upbringing was, or something that I missed out on growing up? And at that point, you begin to see a bigger picture happening in what you're attracting and calling towards you. Now, you're not creating this list so that if you see anything like that in a future partner, you're going to run and hide. But I want you to definitely be curious about it. I want you to be curious about how this affects you. Now, I'm going to share a personal example that happened with me and my partner, Jeff, early on in our relationship. So I grew up in a household where my dad had a really short fuse, and I never really knew what might set him off. It's been described to me as borderline personality disorder, but you were never really sure what might make that person angry. Well, as I've discussed in a lot of my relationships prior to meeting my partner, my husband now, I was drawn to men who had some mental health issues because I found something about them very exciting. There was something in their nature, this unpredictability. And so when I first met my partner, Jeff, I thought he was really boring. I didn't understand that love is kind of boring when you're leaning back and looking at it through the lens of dysfunctional relationships. Dysfunctional relationships can be a lot of high energy, a lot of highs, and a lot of lows. But then you meet someone who's healthy and steady, and things start to feel a little boring. So I want you to be able to lean back and examine what the qualities are, what are the characteristics, what's the common theme that you're seeing showing up in these relationships, and learn from it and just observe that. That alone will move you up a tier. The message that the universe is sending you is that there's some type of healing or growth or expanding that you need to do. And that's why you keep getting sent this type of man. Another thing that it's important to do is really get clear about what you do want in your relationship, whether that means writing a letter to the universe or to God or any positive power out there. Just getting clear about what it is you want in a partnership is so, so important. I always recommend you include qualities such as how fast a person moves. Do you want a fast moving person, a slow moving person? What's your energy like? What would feel right for you to spend your lifetime with? Another thing is no addictions of any kind. Get really clear that you want a man who has no addictions of any kind, a person that is healed or is healthy, that you can meet on similar grounds intellectually. Get very specific about the internal things that you want to attract in a partnership. Now, the last thing I want to share about if you're really attracting time wasters and guys that are weird and things like that, it's just that you may have a fear of actually attracting what it is you truly want in this lifetime. So often throughout life, we are terribly disappointed and we don't really have the tools or the mindset or the awareness to know how to attract and change and evolve and shape our worlds into what it is we want. We are in essence victims to whatever is going on around us. And that's why that these types of men will be drawn to you. You are very much like them in that your energy is matching. So when you become vulnerable, which is a huge part of feminine energy, you become open and receptive to receiving love. And this means that it may not show up looking exactly like what you hoped it would or how it would be, but that you're open, receptive to receiving love in whatever form it comes to you. This is a huge game changer when it comes to feminine energy, because feminine energy is very flexible. It's very open and very flexible and ready to receive. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to go out and fall in love with the first guy that comes along. In fact, falling in love might take you a little longer than it used to, because you've been zipped up very tight. You've had perhaps walls built around you. You've had a lot of reasons to keep yourself shut down from actually even receiving a good guy. You maybe found good guys boring and just not interesting. So I want you to pay attention to how a person treats you. Be willing to unzip your heart and be open and receptive to love that may come to you. This is the single greatest way to attract a loving, long-lasting relationship to you, is being open and willing to have that love in your life. Because I want you to not only have that love in your life, but when you see it, identify it as love and accept it instead of turning it away and finding something wrong with it. The last thing I want to leave you wonderful diamond girls with is a phrase that I get all of my clients to say, which is, I am now attracting lots and lots of high quality, high value men ready for a loving, long-lasting relationship that leads to marriage. I am now attracting loads and loads of high value, high quality, loving, attentive, caring, beautiful, wonderful men my way. They just flow to me from all spaces, all angles, all ways. Men are coming out of the woodworks, literally. I am attracting so many wonderful, high value men that want to have a loving, long lasting relationship. Say that to yourself 10 times over every time you have a single negative thought about there not being men available for you, especially if you find yourself saying, there are no more good guys out there. I want you to get rid of that scarcity thinking and allow yourself to align to the wonderful potential that is absolutely out there and around you. If you want to date like a feminine energy goddess, understand quantum dating, understand the powerful magnetism that is your natural feminine energy, call forth the man you're meant to be with, and know how to show up when he does start pursuing you, I want you to look into 2 programs of mine. One is Femme Tools for Dating, and the other is New Man Manifesto. Just depending on where you are in life, those 2 programs are going to guide you and get you to happily ever after. And if you want to look in my Instagram testimonials, there is more than enough proof there to go around of all the wonderful women I've helped get engaged, get married, reconnect with their ex, or rebuild with their current partner. All right, everyone. As always, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button, and like this video if it's been helpful for you. I would love to hear from you in the comments. I really do try to answer all of your questions as they come in, and I hope to hear from you soon. Sending you much love today and always. Bye-bye.